Okay, everyone, Paul Akers here, and welcome to the next AME 2-Second Lean virtual tour. We're going to have a great time, as we always do. We've been all over the world. We've been to the UK, we've been to Canada, we've been to Ballarat and Houston twice, went to County Battery last week twice, to the UK again, and now we're going to run out to the Closet Doctor in California. So it's going to be a really cool time. Our agenda is, as always, 30-minute tour. We're going to hold tight to that, and a quick Q&A at the right after, because we know everyone's really busy. So we're going to fly out to California real quick, to Lincoln, California, kind of in the Sacramento area. And we've got Derek and Lisa Holland, good friends of mine, both been to Japan. Actually, Derek's been twice, Lisa's been once. And they are an amazing couple. And I think the one thing we want to emphasize in this tour today is using your wits and not your wallet. So often we like to spend money on solutions, but as lean thinkers, we always ask why. In Japanese, it's nande, 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 nande. In English, it's why. And in Espanol, it's por qué, right? So we like to ask why, and Derek speaks Spanish, so we speak Spanish back and forth. He's better than I am. But Derek has done a good job of asking why, and we're going to see some great solutions to the why question. So Derek, it's all yours.
Okay, thanks, Paul. So Derek Holland here with the Closet Doctor. We're in Lincoln, California, as Paul said. First off, shout out to Paul for coaching us through this and being and sharing with Lean. And also for Richard for putting this together. He's not here today, but been working on that. So I've been, here's my lean journey. I have always been a competitive person, and I've always looked for better ways to do things. About mid-2000, 2005, I'd heard about lean, read an article on Toyota, and I said, I need to know more. I tried to read The Toyota Way, and if anybody else has read that book, it's a great book, but for me, it was just way too far away from what we were doing. It was like the Wright brothers reading about SpaceX. It just didn't make sense. I put it back on the shelf, went back to doing what we were doing. In 2010, 2011, we were getting ready to make a bunch of changes, and I came across Paul's book. I'd been buying his products for 10, 15 years, his actual original fast cap and then tape measures and other things. And I said, hey, it's got to be a great book. And so I ordered it. I read it on a Sunday afternoon, brought it in the next day, gave it to one of my guys in my shop. And I said, we're all in on this and we're going for it. And so the first thing that we did was we 3S'd the place. And 3S spoke to me. I'm a simple guy. I don't like a whole lot of details. And I couldn't 5S was too complicated for me. So I was all in on 3S. And we threw out, got rid of all kinds of stuff in our shop and started the lean process. And after that, I attributed a lot of lean to it. Within a couple of years, we started to become really profitable. We've always done good in the business, but we started to become really profitable. We started to understand output, throughput, and things like that. Where we're at today, we had a great shop. We'd been in that facility for 18 years. And actually, I was going to tell you what we do. We actually we design, manufacture, and install custom closet organizers, garage cabinets, home office systems, and things like that. We're basically a cabinet shop. We cut, in simple terms, we cut big squares into little squares and put them in people's houses. On March 2nd, I've been in this business for 27 years. We've been 18 years in our last location. On March 2nd, we walked in the door, and our facility, we'd had a car had caught on fire in the shop next to us, and we had a 1/4 inch of soot and fire damage throughout our 10,000 square foot facility. And so we made an attempt to clean up. If you've ever had a fire, you know that it's pretty much impossible. We actually had to vacate the building after 2 weeks of working on that. And what we're standing in now is a facility that we put together in about 4 weeks from the time that we made the decision to move. And so we attribute a lot of that to lean. Everything in the shop now is on wheels. If it wasn't on wheels, we put it on wheels to bring it over here. We're right across the parking lot. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of things. One thing I'm going to tell you is that's important is no matter what you're doing, share what you're learning. Everything that I'm going to show you today is stuff that I got from somebody else, and we just improved it or adapted for our use. So we're going to start over here, kind of the end of our process to our installation and load up, and then we'll get into our shop. So for years, we'd cut out all our parts and we would stack them on a cart like this, put a whole bunch of parts on here, wheel it over to the van and load that stuff into the van. These carts roll horribly, and we were just handling all these parts, all this over processing. We got to our load ups were taking 2 guys 3 hours, or excuse me, an hour and a half to load up a van. And so you'd have 3 hours of labor to put parts in the van. So our solution, and I'd seen this years before, but most of them were a rickety plywood box and fork extensions and the whole deal, and they didn't make a whole lot of sense to us. I saw in somebody else's shop, they built a box like this, and we used square tubing on the box. The box itself became the extension forks. And then we built this custom box. It's double layered. We have long stuff laying in flat here. We have other stuff up on top that is all there. And we can now load this in the van. I'll show you in a second, this loaded in the van. Load up time went from an hour and a half to about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of the job. When we first started this, I actually had guys that fought me over this. It's kind of a control issue. They wanted to continue to handle product. They wanted to continue to do things. And one of the things, they didn't trust the shop guys to get it right in the box. So what we did is we developed a checklist of everything. We've got this for all of our projects all the way through the shop, everything that we need to do and what needs to go in the box. Everything, all the questions are written as a yes. So when you go down, it's checked off, and we know that we've got everything in the box. When this box gets filled and everything is checked off, we've got a sign that goes on the top of it. And as you can see, everything needed and to complete the job is checked and contained in this box. The installers no longer had to go and talk to the shop guys and figure out what was where, because everything was here. Sometimes that's not perfect, and so we have another TP that's yellow, visual control there. Everything's there except for what's noted on the plans. So super easy load up. Everything's in there. Originally, we were moving this around with a pallet jack. We ended up putting wheels on the bottom of it, so it's a good rolling cart. It can roll around in the shop. We can pick it up with a forklift. We can stack ones on top of the others when they're empty. So let me go show you. We're going to go out and I'm going to show you some stuff in our load up van, how this is installed, and we'll come out and take a look at that. So these are our jobs.
Derek, it's really unbelievable. I think people need to know, again, you went from 10,000 square feet to how big now you're in?
So we've got a couple of different spots that we're parking cars in, but our actual manufacturing area is about 2,000 square feet right now.
That's
one single 10-foot roll-up door.
So a quarter of the space, and you're the same output essentially.
Same output, yeah. I'll show you that. So these are our install vans.
Crazy.
And one of the things with installation vans is we don't want to be crawling in and out of them all of the time. And the far back corner has always been an issue. Stuff gets thrown back there. You never see it again. It's gone forever. Said, hey, there's got to be a better way. A friend of mine had an RV and he had this cool slide in it. And so we went and bought the same slide. And everything now rolls out. So everything that was in the back corner is right here. We've got everything well labeled. Most of this stuff is backup stuff. So if we need it, we've got spare hinges and stuff like that. Everything's all labeled. We can send a helper out here. He can see what's there. Most of these tools we don't use very often on the job, but they're here if we need them. And then it slides back in and it's there. Our goal is that our guys don't have to get in the van to get stuff out. And then this is the installation box in the van. So this got loaded in. It sits up on a riser in the van. And everything is right there. The guys, when they get on the job, they can unload it.
Wow, that's great.
Pull stuff.
Derek,
okay, we'll come back in.
Derek, go back. One more time.
Yeah.
Derek, go back to the back of the van. Go to the back of the van. Back of the van. Yeah, because we lost you for a second. I want everyone to get a good shot of that, just how absolutely thoughtful this is. This is staggering. So now you've got everything perfectly organized. It hasn't been handled a whole bunch. You've eliminated all that other processing. Nothing's getting damaged. Everything's secure in the back of the truck. Crazy. Yeah.
We've got
Brilliant.
carpet right here, and the carpet's on a pre-finished plywood. When this first row of stuff comes out, then they just pull the carpet, and it's a cheap conveyor belt that rolls it down so that you don't have to get back in the van.
Unbelievable. Fantastic. Wow.
Okay. So come in now, we'll show you our production process.
So Derek, real quick question. And these are all the other jobs that are in process right here. You just passed by all the other jobs, right?
Yes.
Okay,
so
got it.
Our production, one of the things we've done is we've gone to one piece flow. We can't do a production line like Toyota because every job is different, but I'll show you some stuff in the office. Our deal is one piece flow. We're 2 days ahead. So this job is, today's Wednesday. This was done last night. This is Thursday's job. The installers get back today. They can unload their van and they can load this one back up before they go home.
And go.
And it's ready.
Wow.
Yep.
So Derek, let me ask you, are those drawer boxes in the back there? Are those drawer boxes that I see?
Those are drawer boxes.
Okay, very good. Because someone asked, what do you do with drawer boxes? So there's the answer to your question. The drawer boxes are pre-assembled and they're right there. Okay. Exceptional. Lisa, you're doing an awesome job on the camera.
And so our closets get assembled on site. Excellent. Okay, so one of the things in our last facility, so I went to nested base manufacturing, which is our CNC runs here. You can see, at least I'll show you. The CNC, it drills all of the holes, it cuts all the little notches and everything, and then it cuts the parts out and sends them off the end of the machine. Our last machine that we had in our other facility was about 52 feet end to end. And so it wouldn't fit in this facility. It was also heavily damaged by smoke. And so we needed a new one. My biggest concern was that we were going to lose production capability, not having an automatic loading machine. We bought this one. We made a decision on this one. I called the sales rep on Friday. We talked on Monday. We funded it on Thursday, and they delivered it the following Thursday, because we needed to get back in production. But we were worried about, hey, how are we going to load this? And a lot of machines, either if they have loading or they have like a $30,000 vacuum lift that allow you to handle large pieces of material like this. So our solution that was given to us by our sales rep was this right here. Are these, basically, it's a fence post from Lowe's and a $5 caster from Harbor Freight. We've got 6 of these bolted to the ground. And so now when this is done, we're a few minutes away from that. We won't see it, but when it's done, I'm going to stop this. The guys can load a sheet on it, just rolls right in on those rollers and goes right in. And very, very, very quick to get things loaded.
Fantastic.
Huge time saving, about $100 versus the automatic loading system, which would have been 10 to 15,000. We didn't have room for it. There wasn't really an option on that. Let's get that running again.
Using your wits and not your wallet. Fantastic.
Yeah. So
gosh,
same thing here. This is our offload table. In a minute here, it's cutting this out. It's going to push this off onto these roller conveyors right here. This isn't a $10,000, $15,000 option. They didn't have it available for delivery. And so we needed a solution. Craigslist, $400, some scrap plywood underneath there so that all of the dust rolls through it and drops down. Real simple setup. And works great. Here's the interesting thing that I was worried about production. This machine is a little bit smaller in the amount of tools that it has. It doesn't have the automatic loading. We're running this. We are producing. We can actually turn sheets around faster now with this setup than the automatic setup. We're producing at equal or higher level than we were in our previous facility.
In a facility the fourth of the size.
Fourth of the size. So yeah, we're tight. We're right up against the wall here. You know, it's not ideal, but so now I'm going to show you the greatest improvement that we have ever made at the Closet Doctor. Daniel and I, we giggle about this. Daniel's my CNC operator. When we put this in, we put this dust collector here. We were in a hurry. We said, yeah, just put the switch right here. And as you notice, that switch, it's like American Ninja Warrior to get to it. And we said, hey, there's got to be a better way. We knew if we called the electrician and he came out, it'd probably be $2 to $3 grand to move it and stuff like that. Once again, Lowe's to the rescue. And this is our automatic, our manual shutoff system. We've got some rope, a couple of pulleys across the roof that run over, and we can pull this down, shut the dust collector off, turn it back on. We cheated the system with that one. It's right here where the operator's at. So nice and simple. So
wow, using your wits and not your wallet again.
wits, not your wallet. Back of the dust collector over there, you're gonna see here's our machine coming off right now. We got this timing here. It's gonna push off the parts onto our high-tech roller here. And then go ahead and shoot Daniel here, Lisa. Daniel's gonna load back on. And here's our loading process. Daniel's gonna load that on nice and quick right here.
Oh my gosh, get out of town.
So our
Get
old
out
machine,
of town.
our old machine was about 50 seconds between sheets, and we've got it down to about 25 to 30. So
that is fantastic. Wow.
Daniel's he's gonna label all these parts here at the end of the machine. And you can see our high-tech setup for that. Desktop computer that we went into the settings and turned it to vertical. He's got everything there. We upgraded our label maker to where it's got an automatic peel one. Right now we're not using it because we have to print off to have access to them. We have to print off, but we've got a setup on this that'll actually peel that label off and you just pick it off.
Right.
When we get our regular conveyor, it'll work there.
Paso per paso.
Another quick one. This is our dumpster. We used to bring in a big 40-yard roll-off, have another dumpster that we would dump into and then dump into the 40-yard roll-off. We said that's just a whole bunch of waste. So we took the lids off the dumpster. We put our regular city dumpster right in here and put it next to us. Nice and easy.
Why not?
Okay, this is our office. Phil's in here. He's our production manager. We've got our inventory and scheduling, and in here. So one thing we do, shut this door so real quick.
This is a very exciting part right now for the tour, everyone, because the way he's got this organized is really phenomenal.
Thank you, Paul. So this is our scheduling board. We've tried to do things electronically. I am not a super technological guy, and so we made it nice and simple. This is a 6-week calendar. We've got these magnets here that are on the board, and we just had a guy at a sign shop cut us a whole bunch up here. You'll notice that they're by color. And then we print these labels off. Different labels have different stuff on them, but we just print these labels off. We get these off of Amazon. Those are VHS spine labels. For you young guys that don't know what that is, that's a cassette tape that we used to watch movies on. You go to the store and rent them, Blockbuster, that kind of stuff. But so everything is color coded on our installation. So reds are that we have a follow-up. We have a job that we haven't completed. We need to take care of that. Green is our closets, blue is our garage. The color tells us a whole bunch of stuff that we know. For example, the garage, we know that we're going to need a trailer. We're going to need 2 installers on it. There's also all the information after we process the job, how much material, if the code has been sent, when special orders are arriving, so that we don't have to go back to our paperwork here. Once again, we're back at our checklist. Let me find one that's got the right stuff out. That's on the wrong side. How did that happen?
Because it's a tour.
Because it's a tour and nothing ever goes right when it's live with hundreds of people on. So once again, we've gone to a checklist, and a great book for a checklist is the Checklist Manifesto. I highly recommend to read it if you need to do anything with checklists. I grew up around aviation, and I know that they're used in airplanes, and they are highly effective. And so what we did is in our pre-production, we lined out the series of events and the things that need to happen to get a job from open to close and put it in the checklist. We're now able to process a job. Our designers design this on site with our cabinet design software. They turn it in, and Phil goes through it and prepares it for production. It has everything that he needs to do on here. In the old days, that job on the computer might get opened up 4 or 5 times. Things would get ordered here and there, and we would miss things constantly. What we realized too is that we were spending hours processing a job, and now we've got it. The designers do a good job, and we've got all the questions we need answered. We can open the job, go through this checklist, and in anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes have a job ready for production, code sent to the CNC. And this goes back on here, and we never look at it again until it goes out to the shop. all the information we need is on here that we can, when we need to go and look at it. So
That's
color coded,
amazing.
checklist, organized.
And the
Works.
jobs are, the paper of the job is also color coded too, whether it's a garage, whether it's a closet, whatever it is, so forth, correct?
Correct. So if you're over here looking on the calendar and you need ales, which is a blue one, which was, it's not, you know, you're going to go, at least you know where to look for. And then we've got
Right.
the names and everything on there. So it's color coded. When you look at it, you know that that's a garage.
Excellent.
Okay. So moving on, this is our inventory area. And I actually printed off a picture. This was midway through our lean journey. This is a screenshot of a video on YouTube, so you probably can't see it really good. But we'd started organization, but you'll notice there's about 7 different colors of bins. We didn't really know what we were doing with Kanban cards. That's what we're at. Here's where we're at today. We finally figured this out and understand how it works now. So we have a full 2-bin system now for most of our stuff. And is what that means is we have a blue bin that has our regular inventory in it. When that inventory is depleted, the bin in the back is pulled forward. The card is pulled off of it, and it goes over here to a hook that who we need to order. We have the vendor name on it, and we've also color coded those vendor names so that when we go over to the hook, we don't have to read it. We can match it up. It's a little tight in here, but we can match that up. That's going to go on that hook.
I've never seen that before. So let me get that straight. So basically that red dot indicates a particular vendor, like
yes.
Hafele is red.
Hafele is red.
Okay.
Charles McMurray is green. Those are our 2 main vendors.
Oh my gosh.
And others are yellow. We have a couple other ones that we know where to go. So when you're walking up to it, you don't have to squint and read.
Yeah.
As you get old like me and need reading glasses, Hafele is small. We have everything we need on here to order this item, including a barcode now. And when we originally got going in the business, we would actually call them and tell them, hey, I need to order 500 of 222-3558. And then we went down online and we were typing it in. And then Lucas at FastCap helped us out with a barcode. So this barcode contains the part number, their reorder quantity, and the PO for the job, or which in our case, this one would be stock. And so all of that, we get to one spot on the website, scan it, and automatically fills it and puts it in the cart.
Derek, incredible. I've never seen that done before, where you've color coded the vendors. So you even remove more and more ambiguity is disappearing. Well done.
Visual controls are huge. It eliminates so much having to think. So just one more thing on that. So we've got blue here as our standard stock, red as our back stock. When we come over to this side of the room, you'll see the green ones. These are items that have been pulled from inventory into for customer jobs. And so we've got our parts on here. Another lean improvement. We used to do a contract and all of this stuff would be written in the contract. And then it would come into the office and somebody would type up a new pull sheet. And so anytime you touch something, there's an opportunity for mistakes, errors, and damage. Now we've just made this part of the contract. So this is actually, the customer is actually signed. This is the contract that the customer signed. When it came into the office from DocuSign, it was printed off and Vicky has signed that. She sees what she's getting. And then this becomes the pull sheet. We staple a label to it, and that's Vicky Daniels. I'll make sure I put that back in there. We have a process for how we handle that. And when everything goes in the bin, it goes in the bin, and that's all complete. Sometimes we have stuff that doesn't fit in the bin. And so Phil came up with this. So here on Johnson, we've got boxes up above. We have the Kaizen corners. They make a great arrow when you turn them sideways. He writes on there what it is. And up above here, we've got 2 boxes of pull-out hampers that are for Johnson. So simple visual
label and a big label on them too.
And a big label. We went to the big label. We put a date on the label. We used to use plastic bags. We'd put all this stuff in plastic bags, and then we'd bring the bag back at the end of the day and throw it out. The label would get in there. You couldn't see it. Now it's very visual. We're kind of A to Z alphabetical, so we know where stuff's at. Very easy to find.
5 minutes, Derek, just so you know.
5 minutes.
So
you bet.
5 minutes. Okay.
So
and just
on labels.
Incredible. So Derek, let me just reemphasize. So that's all the items necessary for each one of those jobs to pull. So as soon as the job gets initiated, you start pulling out of your inventory, putting it in the job box so that when it's time to build a job, you're not going, oh crap, I don't have that product.
Exactly. So we we'd used to sell a job and we'd go, oh, we need 27 of those. And we'd look in here and go, yeah, you got 27. And then the next day we'd look at it, we need 15. Oh yeah, we got 15. And then the day of the job, that 27 to 15, 38 had all been pulled and we didn't have anything. So now we've solved that. And when I talked about one piece flow before, this all happens in that 10 to 15 minutes that Phil has got the computer open. It's part of the process that he goes through. It's all one step process. So this all happens about 3 to 5 days after the job is sold, so that we don't run out of stuff anymore.
Wow.
One last thing I was going to add is we've got inventory sometimes that it doesn't make sense to open stuff up and put them back in the box. So this was our epiphany on Kanban cards. Before we'd buy 10 boxes of this and we put a Kanban card at the bottom, we would run out because we're not used to using cards and all that kind of stuff. So our epiphany was, this is now the box. Every box, when it comes in, gets a card. So each one of these boxes has a card in it. We train our guys that, hey, when you open this up, boom, the first thing you do is pull the card out and put it on the hook. So
incredible.
That's our stuff there.
Incredible. And of course, the card has a dot on it to tell you where to order it from.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we got 3 minutes. We're going to show you a couple. Real quick, we're going to show you a couple of things out in the shop that are amazing. So
this is so incredible, Derek. It's just
our edge bander. So normally on an edge bander, you put a couple of parts in, the guy runs down here. We've got a table on that end that goes up and down. We put a large extension cord on it, and we can raise and lower that from both ends of the machine.
Lisa, go down there and videotape that. Derek, you operate it from your end, and I want Lisa to see the video. Okay, go ahead.
So
you got it there.
It goes up and down on both ends. We have a double thing on it. We used to have this sort cart somewhere else, and so they were walking back and forth. We just welded that on top of the up-down table.
Oh my
so that the guy that's catching on this end doesn't have to do anything. Got this table over here, everything right here, ready to go. We make a lot of our own fixtures here. You'll see these.
Crazy.
Our biggest one that we made, we build these large garage cabinets.
Most important part of the tour right here.
Most important part of the tour. Saw this in Japan, automation without power. On my mind for years to build this. Walters and Wolf in Las Vegas had a similar table. So make sure this isn't going to fall off on us. We're good. You're done building this cabinet. This goes up and down. Oops, we stuck here. Let's see what happened. There we go. Cabinet slides off. Table folds back. You're ready to build your next table. To counterweight it, we've got scrap iron built under here. You'll notice stuff's not painted. I used to want to have everything beautiful. Now my thing is, if done is better than perfect. If you paint it and make it all nice, you're afraid to come back and cut stuff off and weld onto it. You know, we've built special carts.
What an amazing assembly table. And so nobody's struggling to get up on the table to push this cart or manhandle it off. The table does the work for you.
I used to have guys that come out and they're climbing up on the table like this to push a cabinet off. And that's a workers' comp claim waiting to happen. So that's the kind of stuff. Everything's on wheels, you know, all of our cabinets. This is a great example. We had a cabinet here, and this was always full of clutter. So we solved that problem. Our improvement was we just covered it off. Now you can't put crap in there and have clutter. So a couple other little things like on our, we've got a chop saw over here on dust collection. And what would happen is guys would go and they would do a whole bunch of cuts and they would forget to turn on the dust collector. So we put a remote switch on it. The dust collector doesn't, or the saw doesn't work unless the dust collector is turned on. Keeps your shop cleaner, nicer. And we even put this on wheels too. So we got a 10-foot long table and everything here that can go on wheels and move around. So we are getting ready to, we've actually got a new facility that we're working on right now that we'll be moving into. And this is the Closet Doctor 3.0. What we're going to go into, we're going to be less space than we were before. We're going to have about 5,500 square feet of production and about 2,000 square feet of offices. And right now we're laying everything out, how it's all going to go. So when we move or have minimum downtime, everything will just roll in to the new
Phenomenal.
facility.
Phenomenal. So Derek, the question is, can we talk to a team member and see what they think of lean and think what they think of what's going on? Do you have anybody we can talk to real quick? We're going to go to Q&A. Is everybody?
I don't have any, not really.
Okay.
I can, Isaac.
Okay. Desiree, in the meantime, Q&A. Let's get to Q&A because we want to go into this. Are you concerned at all that I can't read that. Desiree, can you help me with questions?
You okay with answering questions?
No.
Some of my guys are a little camera shy.
Yeah. Okay, well, here we go. So here we go. What happens when the stack of plywood gets low? What happens when the stack of plywood gets low, real quick?
That's on a lift table, and so it just moves up and down.
Okay, got it. Awesome. The rollers to put the plywood on, no struggle. Okay, how long did it take previously to prep the job for production?
You know, we found now that you can sit down and do it in 10 to 20 minutes. There's probably 10 to 20 minutes of time to do it the old way, but it would be stretched over a whole bunch of times. And we found that every time you open a program or start a new task, that it takes 5 to 10 minutes to actually get focused on what you're doing, figure out where you left off. And so just by completing it from start to finish saves a whole bunch of time. So the value added didn't change, but all the waste that was associated with it did. Okay, so much ingenuity, but so portable. How many team members do you have, full-time, part-time? So the Closet Doctor right now is about 14 employees. Lisa and I are 2 of those. We have 3 guys in the shop, 1 production manager, and we run 2 two-man install teams. Okay, so the question was about some of the team members, just so you know, is what do they think about the changes and the difference in job satisfaction? But if you can't get anyone, don't worry about that. Are you concerned at all with your computers maybe watching, your competitors watching this? Are you concerned about your competitors watching this? Bring it on. Bring it on. they're not willing. Most of them aren't willing to do the stuff that we're willing to do. Right. Do you have morning meetings with all your employees? We do. Morning meetings, we try to keep our morning meeting to about 15 minutes. Stretching, go over previous days' jobs for any improvements that we can make on that. Any issues that we're having in the shop. We don't have a specific set time that, hey, we're doing 3S. They do a lot of cleanup at the end of the day to where when we come in the morning that we're ready to roll. So how long have you been doing 2-second lean real quick? 10 years? 10 years, yeah. September 11th, 2011 is when we made the switch to nested base. And right in that time, we'd probably been lean about 6 months from that. So yeah, 10 years. Do you have issues with things moving too much, being that everything is on wheels? Interesting question. So the floor in this place is horrible. This used to be a packing shed. And so the floor slopes in all kinds of places. And you'll put a cart away and you'll come back in the morning and it's in a different spot. So it is a little bit harder to keep it organized. The previous tenant had done the floor in here, but it's peeling up all over the place. Our last place, we did have lines on the floor to keep things, to align things. You know, we parked the vans inside. They had their own parking spot with lines and everything. So this one, we haven't done quite as much here, but the wheels work out great. Wow, fantastic. Great comments too. Getting a lot of good, what happens when and with the wheels in the last place we had a lot of, like behind us here, Lisa will show you these cabinets here that are vertical cabinets with crown in it. We had those bolted to the wall. Well, we brought them over here, we put everything on wheels. We've moved that stuff where it's at in the shop probably at least 3 times in the last 5 months. And we move it on a daily basis to get into something that's back it and behind it in the corner. So we love wheels now. Yeah. Hey, Derek. So this is the last question that's come from me. Yeah. What you know, you're a smart guy and you're a successful business guy. Why did you need to go to Japan? Why did you want to go to Japan? I'm curious. What was the impetus behind that? I just wanted to see how it was done. I I've been doing this for 27 years, and I've always enjoyed going to other shops. And so as I got into lean, I'm like, Toyota is they're doing it. And so I don't want to see another shop like Derek. I want to go see the very best. And so that's why I went to Japan. I went and saw it, and then we went back again because Lisa wanted to see it. So we went twice and picked a whole ton up, and there is the ultimate.
Where is the number one? What is the number one thing you took away from Japan? What's the number one thing that changed you in Japan?
One is, I think it's the respect that they have for people, employees, and the processes. So I think my favorite company was Mifune, that we went and saw, and just how they do things, and the output that they have, and how they cared. They're making millions of parts, and they have, I would consider them very entry-level people, foreign workers and stuff like that.
Right.
But they love working there. They do a great job, and they treat them well. And so that was a place that I really liked.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to end the Q&A. Let's go, Desiree, to the next thing. We're going to do a little feedback real quick. Derek, you did an awesome job. Lisa, you did an unbelievable job on the camera. I absolutely love that. Okay,
she's got a big smile on her face.
Yeah. Lisa, you win the camera award. That was really, really well done. So feedback. We're going to do a quick survey real quick, everyone. Take less than 1 minute. Next slide real quick. Here we go. So our next tour is October 6th, Loomis Electronics. We're going to go over and see Patrick and Tom over in Ireland. Both great friends of mine, both been to Japan with me. Awesome human beings. We're going to learn a lot there. So make sure you put it on your calendar, and we'll send out a link to everyone. But check the website, AME. Okay. And then we have the AME Everywhere Tour. Remember the virtual conference we got coming up October 18th to the 21st. I'm going to be involved in that. I'm going to be speaking, as well as we're going to have 3 virtual tours in addition, and I'm going to be hosting those as well. And anybody that signs up, uses the VIP Paul password, you're going to get a book from me, signed, an autographed copy. And then what do we got going after AME? Then we've got the Lean Sensei, which is a great way to benchmark your company. Go on AME's website. These are great tools for you to grow your company and organization and make it stronger. And last but not least, remember, we're a nonprofit. Anybody wants to donate, help us out anyway. The AME has put this all together on the goodness of their hearts, worked really, really hard. This is an enormous amount of work. I can't even emphasize how much work goes into putting these on, but AME does it all gratis, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you want to help out in any way, we'd love that. So I think that's just about it. That puts a wrap on exactly 40 minutes. We did pretty good on this. So thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time. Derek and Lisa, over the top, you're superstars. Thank you. We'll see you in Ireland in a couple weeks.
Thank you, Paul.
Absolutely. Absolutamente.